Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Cards. I am streaming across multiple different platforms right now. This is rather scary. Just gone live on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, give me a wave in the comments. And if you're watching on another platform, let me know. Drop a comment on whatever platform you are watching from, and I will hopefully be able to see it. I'm going to go over some updates from Futera. We're going to have a little chat about the hobby, hopefully initiate some trades. I've got a really cool little pack of something that I want to show you from the archives as well today, and also going to be talking about some rookies as well. I want you to tell me which rookies you think we should focus on here at Futera. So I want you to be giving me those suggestions when the time is right. So if you're watching on straight away, Josh is in with a question about the heritage cards on Instagram. I'll cover that in a second. If you've got anything else Futera specific that you need me to talk about, then I'll do my best to answer the questions that you've got with regards to the heritage cards. So for those of you that don't know, with Futera Unique 2023-2024, the heritage cards have a discrepancy on them, so it's a different player on the front and the back. I think they look really cool though, and I've actually had a lot of people saying, hey, like these do look wicked. The cards look wicked. So some of them have this discrepancy with a different player on the front and a different player on the back. I was doing a stream with Adam from Yorkshire Cards the other day on Whatnot. I was going to say WhatsApp then. We weren't doing the stream on Whatnot. He pulled one. I think it had Darwin Núñez on the front, and then I can't recall the player on the back, but it was quite funny, that combination. Anyway, I am going to have an update for you. There'll be a video that I'm going to release next week with some more details on this. It is something we're working on. We're putting some systems in place. I've seen some of them. They need to be finalized, but we're gonna try and do what we can on this front. So yes, as you know, so someone's saying they had Odegaard and then Forlan. Odegaard on the front and Forlan on the back, which is kind of humorous. But anyway, it is what it is. So as you know, here at Futera, we do our best to try and give you as much communication, as much insight on what we're doing as possible. And it's a very beautiful set nonetheless. I would say it's a really, really beautiful set. I saw it for the first time over Christmas when I sat and did the stream with Adam from Yorkshire Cards, and they looked, again, Unique looks exquisite. I always think, with Unique, our base cards look amazing. Even the base cards, it is a phenomenal release, and we're really proud of it. Aside from the discrepancy situation with the heritage cards, I think it's still a very beautiful set, but we're gonna rectify them. It is what it is. In fact, sometimes these cards can command more value in the future. So it's one of them, guys. So how is everybody then? Are we good? Some questions coming on Whatnot. I'll get to these in a second. So let's have a little look at some of these questions. Would you guys ever do an under-21s international set? There's a very good chance of some cool rookies in there. Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about rookies this year. Who are you bullish on? And I'm not talking about the obvious ones, the younger lads that play for the Man Cities, the Arsenals of this world, the PSGs, whatever. I'm looking for those guys that might be a little bit left field, but haven't been picked up yet by the wider football community. Any names or suggestions that you've got that I can give to the team to go and research? And yeah, we are thinking about how we can incorporate them more. As you know, we're quite proud of our records in Futera Unique. I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, some big players that we've done the first cards for. I think if you go back, I think we've got the first card for Eden Hazard. that would have been around 2009, maybe around that time, 2008. We've got the first one for Gerrard in his Liverpool jersey, which is a bit of an iconic card. It's a squad card from Fans Selection in 97. It's got a picture of him on the front with like a green, that green away jersey that that Liverpool had at the time, Carlsberg on the front, quite an iconic shirt. That one. And then another one that jumps out is Lewandowski's card. I think we've got a Future Stars card, which would have been again around 2009, 2010. And of course, you know, there's some players that have gone on to do big things. Although I will say, because he'll probably be watching this, Mark, who is the kind of head of creative here at Futera, he did once stick John Fleck in as I think as a future star. And by all accounts, with respect to John, he's not really gone on and can be considered in the same bracket as people like Steven Gerrard and Lewandowski. But it is what it is. You know, you don't always get them right. But you know, we have in the past done some really cool rookies. So I'd love some names if you have them. Archie Gray is one that JP for Cards has mentioned. Archie Gray. Tell me more about Archie Gray, guys. Someone's saying he's only got a Leaf card at the moment. Is it an autograph card? English footballer Archie Gray is at Leeds, is he? Okay. Right. I mean, hey, there's a, and many of you have asked us to do an EFL license before, and we have had conversations with them, or at least I have, but it's quite tricky to pull together that license. But yeah, I think certainly there are a lot of players in the lower leagues that maybe that do fly under the radar a little bit. Someone's saying Ben Doak, a bit obvious. Yeah, Doak, we've done cards for Ben. I think he may be in this year's or last year's season review. He is. I have opened him on Whatnot streams. So we do have a card for Ben Doak, JJ. But he certainly wants to watch as well for the future. Some of you are discussing the designs and what you preferred, whether it was last year's design or this year's design for Unique. I'll leave that to you to discuss whether or not which one you prefer. Who makes the decision on players that go into the set recommendations? Well, we have a team. One thing we pride ourselves here on SJ. Let me straighten this up because it keeps falling to one side. It's a bit annoying. Hold on. We have a team of, so everybody at Futera is a football fan. You know, that's like that's our sport, which is why we focus so much on football cards, and we have done now for probably the past 15 years. So we all kind of get together. Not so much me anymore. I used to be heavily involved in that side. You know, I've got other things now, but the creative, the design team will get together on this, and they'll kind of go through the players that we want to include. And you'll notice with Futera Unique, because it's called World Football, we'll include players from countries that, you know, may not always be, shall we say, the main countries on the international stage. For example, in the past, you know, I've seen us quite clearly remember 2010 or whatever, around, because you had the World Cup in South Africa, didn't you? And I remember there being like North Korean players in world football, or, you know, players from China. So we always like to try and cover the globe and incorporate players that might not be. And what happens sometimes is these players will win moves, and you'll see them playing in Europe a couple of years later. So the keywords being world football there. So someone's saying with regards to the Archie Gray, he's the grandson of Eddie Gray, and Liverpool are sniffing around him. I do also want to see if any of you are looking for any particular cards at the moment. I have a friend, right, who is, and I'll go back and read some of these comments to keep on dropping them in there. And if you've got any questions on Futera, I will do my best to answer them. I've got a friend who's getting into collecting at the moment, and he is a big fan of a lot of like the players that Zidane, Gerrard, you know, that era, Wayne Rooney, Alan Shearer, a little bit earlier, I suppose, than the likes of Rooney. Anyway, he's getting into he's watched the Netflix show King of Collectibles. Is it King of Collectibles? The one about the guy that owns Golding. And he has now got a bug for collecting. By the way, we've that program's been great, I think, for the collectibles industry as a whole. And if you haven't watched it yet on Netflix, I suggest you go and watch it because it's a fascinating watch. Anyway, so he's looking for cards for the likes of Gerard now, Shearer, as I said, Zidane, these types of people. So if any of you have some good cards that are up for sale, then obviously let us know, and I'll pass it on to him. But yeah, I wanted to know which card you're looking for at the moment, and it'd be great, right, if we were able to. It would be great if we were able to kind of initiate some trades on this stream, wouldn't it? You've lots of comments here, by the way. We need an Alan Shearer Blackburn Rovers auto. Lee, it's you. I hadn't spotted your username, and then I have just realised who it is. Lee appears on Whatnot quite frequently, and is rather humorous. Contributor to the streams, and yeah, you've asked that question, and that's how I knew it was you. So yeah, Blackburn Rovers. We haven't got the license for Blackburn Rovers, as far as I'm aware. There's no plans to take that license, but who knows? Maybe in the future. I'd love to see Jamie Redknapp on next year's cards. Yeah, so would I. So would I. I'm getting closer to Redknapp. Again, he's talking about Liverpool legends here, and me being an Evertonian is kind of always kind of strange that I work for Futera and we have the Liverpool license, and then I have to kind of sell Liverpool cards, jump on streams and open Liverpool cards. And I'm an Evertonian. It's very, very tough, but I'm a professional before all else, everybody. So I make sure I approach it in the spirit of professionalism, of course. And they're always lovely cards. And of course, Liverpool have some very iconic footballers. So it's always easy to do. Anyway, yeah, so I'm getting closer to Redknapp. I've not got a contact for him directly, but we've had the likes with Jason McAteer again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, we're going to get John Barnes autos as well for the next collection, which is a big one. Working on that deal at the moment. Who else have we got? Ex-Liverpool. We've done Heskey before in the past. John Aldridge is a guy that I've come familiar with, and of course, the big one very recently in the form of Mr. Steven Gerrard. So yeah, I'd love to see Redknapp, and I'd also love to see Carragher as well. I'm trying to get access to Carragher again. He'd be a good one to I think to get. So XJ says, love those Darwin Núñez on card autos. Fantastic effort. Fully appreciate that for Futera. Thank you very much. With regards to Núñez and yeah, these types of big names. What I would say about our autograph cards is, I really like the fact that kind of they're on card. We don't send stickers to players, do we? And if you've got an autograph card from Futera, that the player in question has held that card, and you can see on the back exactly when they signed, where they signed. I like that we do that. I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, XJ, thank you for the love on that one. Is season 2 out yet? SJ, can you clarify that, mate? It'd be good to know exactly what you're referring to with regards to that. Let's have a look. So Lee is not going to stop harassing me until we get the Blackburn Rovers license and we do Alan Shearer autographs. I'd love Shearer's autograph. I've spoken to his son before, not managed to sort anything yet, but we would like the Shearer on card. He'd probably be wearing his international shirt though, so you get the half there, Lee. SJ, yes, I've seen you on. On Whatnot before, I think. You should get Duncan Ferguson for Scotland. So again, working on it. I have cards made for Dunk. Spoken to the guys at Inverness, where he is currently manager. He's a very busy man, as you would expect, being the manager of a professional football club. But hopefully I can get that sorted, because I'll be honest with you, Duncan is my hero, being an Evertonian, and yeah, he'd be at the top of my list. Growing up in the 90s and supporting Everton. Duncan Ferguson was our hero. People telling me that they feel sorry for me. The fact that I'm an Evertonian, I'm gonna just brush over those comments. People saying that sorry to hear that. That's a bit offensive, guys. But it's understandable because it is tough being an Evertonian. So who are you looking for at the moment? Which cards are you looking for specifically at the moment? Drop them in the comment section on whatever platform you're watching, and then someone else might see it and say, "Hey, I've got that card. You know, I would like to do. Or I want that player. I'd like to do a swap with you, and you can go away and sort that yourselves. Look at this as like a virtual kind of trading card meetup, and get your collections out, so to speak, virtually, and drop it in the comments, and you may find that people want some of the cards that you have. JP4 Cards has ever thought of Micah Richards? I have. Again, another one that I'm working on. These people are hard to find sometimes, and sometimes the trick is when you're working with former pros or whatever, you're trying to get in contact with them. Lots of people, this is what happens, guys. I'm going to give you some industry insight here. Lots of people will tell you that they represent that person directly, solely. They'll say, I am his agent. You pick any player, right? Search John Barnes, whatever, and on Google, and you'll find multiple, meet John Barnes or whatever, or get John Barnes signed stuff, or John Barnes agent, right? You'll see multiple different people on their websites, whatever, companies claiming to represent that one individual. So it can be quite hard sometimes to work out who has actually got the best access, who can get you the best deal. We obviously, of course, are very big on, we need that validation. We need to go and sit with the players they sign. We need to give you that oversight as well, pictures, videos, pictures at the very least of the player signing. So these are all things that I have to factor in. But John, there's a couple of names here. So Micah Richards is one that I've tried to. I'm working on that one. I can see people saying, RSJ has said, Collymore, Barnes, Fowler. Well, we got Fowler actually. Are his autographs in this most recent release? So I don't have to check on the checklist. But I got Fowler done. We've done Fowler cards very recently. Again, Robbie Fowler's a huge season season two. So they are doing a season 2 of King of Collectibles, SJ. That's good to know. I will look forward to watching that, because that I think, when every now and again when these types of these shows or whatever appear in the culture, and I just think they initiate like a more interest in the hobby, and people are kind of like, that's what happened with my friend. He watched that show and he was like, I'd really like to collect things. So now he's started to build his own collection. So I think we've got to, when these shows come along, we've all got to do what we can to kind of elevate them. It's the same with a lot of influencers as well. When they genuinely are into the hobby, I'm thinking the likes of Logan Paul and what he did for Pokemon, Gary Vee talking about sports cards, when they're voices that are genuinely interested in the hobby and they're not just being paid to do so. I suppose I think within the hobby should elevate those voices where we can, and kind of introduce them to other people, because they're almost validation for the hobby, and then it brings people in. And I certainly think that program on Netflix has done that, and it's a great watch anyway. Even if you're not into collectibles, it is a great watch. Lias, how do you go about making first contacts about getting players to sign the cards? Multiple different ways. So sometimes, like, I'll go and sit with a player, and then they'll introduce me, Lee, to another player. So I'll say, hey, you played with this guy, and they'll say, are you still in contact? And they'll say, yeah, I'm in contact. And then I'll say, can I have the details? And they'll just give them to me sometimes, and I'll just call them. You have to hustle. You have to put yourself out there in this job, or I'll work directly with an agent, or sometimes I'll speak to somebody on LinkedIn. I'll just see they're on LinkedIn, and I'll be able to message them. Or Twitter. So, interesting story with Sean Wright Phillips. Sean Wright Phillips became aware of Futera United, which is our football club we've got, because we were doing some work at the time, very heavily focused on the Web3 stuff. And he came into a space and then followed us that I was talking on a Twitter Spaces. And then I just messaged him directly and said, all right, Sean, I've got a Futera United jersey for you. I see you into the project. And he was engaging on this Spaces event. And then I said, oh, by the way, we've got a physical card company. I'd like you to sign some cards for me. So he said, okay, here's my details. Gave him a call, arranged the deal. And that was that. So there's a whole magnitude of different ways in which you get these player deals. It's all about kind of building a network, and then you kind of get introduced as you go. You work with these people. They kind of they know you're legit and you pay on time. Of course, we're a reputable company. We've been around for 30 years. We're not messing around, as you know. So that's kind of you kind of build your network that way, and then you that's how you get autographs. So and of course, we'll work with the clubs as well that we have licenses for the players that are playing today. They supply us with autographs, of course they do. So yeah, it's there's multiple different ways of capturing them. But the important thing I think from us is that got to give that validation. Always gotta validate, where did the player sign, imagery, videos, whatever we can do around that, we try and do. So that the players held that card, where it was signed, when it was signed, and I think that's really, really good. So, let's have a little look what else people are saying. Yes, SJ, I appreciate your support, mate. People are asking for. Oh, Gerard. Who's got a Gerard 1 of 1? Has anyone got a Gerard 1 of 1? Someone got who was that? Gerard 1 of 1 auto. I'm trying to use SJ. Have you got a Gerard 1 of 1? If you have, that's cool. Let us drop that in the comments if you've got one. And if you're up for trading that, I should imagine you'll have lots of takers. If we can get Mo Salah, it'll be real sweet because we have hardly any of his autos since the last few Futeras. Yeah, Salah would be amazing. Of course, sometimes the players have separate deals from the club or whatever. They've got their own image rights, or they've got their own things going on. So there's all that side to it as well. But yeah, Salah would be amazing. Of course, we will get more Salah in the future. I'll endeavour to do so. Again, an amazing footballer. That assist for the 4th goal. I watched the Liverpool Newcastle highlights yesterday, by the way. That assist when he kind of he flicked it with the outside of his boots for whoever that was. I can't remember which players eventually scored the goal. I'm sure chat will let me know. Yeah, what an assist. He's just an amazing footballer. Really is an amazing footballer. Yeah, I think we've got some very early Mo Salah cards. I imagine he was included in some of the early uniques when he was a bit more of a prospect, and then he was at Roma, or was it Chelsea first? Then he went to Roma, didn't he? Prior to joining Liverpool. So yeah, he was kind of highly rated, then he dropped off a little bit, and then he's just become one of the greatest players I think ever in Premier League history. And I say that again as an Evertonian. I'm going to show you something in a minute, by the way, so hang around. Let's have a look. Yes, okay. So Collectible Corner wants an update. So yeah, I'm going to be recording a video next week on these discrepancies with the heritage cards in Unique. So leave that with me. I'm going to get some here with me, and I'm going to go through something with the team. And then also I'll give you the full update then in terms of how we're going to proceed in this area. All right. So just know, again, you don't want us to rush this. We want to make sure that we've got some kind of system where everything works. And we look after you here at Futera. We're big on that. So we're going to sort something, and I will release some more details of that next week. Okay. I hope that helps. But I still think they look ace, right? I still think they look really cool, to be honest with you. Duncan Ferguson and Baines. Yeah, what a combo. By the way, so RM7 says Duncan Ferguson and Baines, right? Imagine that a dual card. That'd be cool. I'm only talking to Evertonians now. No, everyone else has switched off. But Leighton Baines was a phenomenal footballer. Could have evidently played for a bigger club in inverted commas than Everton. They don't make them like Leighton Baines anymore, taking his guitar on international duty. just, I watched a clip of him last night actually scoring a free kick against Newcastle for Everton. It's a worldy free kick, and like other players run off and do these like dances and stuff now, and he just casually runs up to the away fans, giving them a little nod and that. He's such a cool footballer. Big fan of Leighton Baines. He'd be one that I'd love to see. In fact, I have a Leighton Baines autograph card from Futera that I was given by somebody, and it's from I think about 2014. It's very, very nice. One of my favorite. That's in my personal collection. Let's have a look here. To be honest, if I never watched that show, okay. So SJ is talking about King of Collectibles there. He says if he'd never have watched that show, he wouldn't have got purchasing Futera cards. So let's have a look here. What else have we got? The Instagram is Instagram is such a pain in the bum to read comments. JP4 says, do you think the new government tax law will see football cards falling in price? I'm not sure what that is. JP, could you send me some details on that? What's this? Yeah, I need some more insight on that one. Let's have a look here. So, will you ever consider getting the Juve? Sorry if I've missed some comments here. I am trying to read them on Instagram, and the screen's really tricky. Like it jumps up and jumps down and all over the place. Well, Maisie Run says, best cards on the market. Thank you, Maisie Run. Appreciate the nice comments. We do work as hard as we can here at Futera on multiple different fronts. I try and communicate with you guys, so you've got a direct line into me to try and give you an update of what's going on, and we try and make the most beautiful cards that we can that you enjoy collecting, and small print runs so they hopefully maintain their value into the future as well. Will you ever consider getting the Juventus rights? Yeah, would love the Juventus rights. Again, that's not my side of the business in terms of licensing, but yeah, would love Juventus. Juventus are a huge club. That'd be a good one. There's loads of clubs I want us to make cards for. Loads of clubs. I would be really intrigued if we could. I think they're tied up with Tops at the moment, but Glasgow Rangers and Celtic would be two clubs that I'd love to do cards for because the fan bases up there are so passionate for them. And there's a lot of Scottish collectors, so it'd be great to do some really nice premium cards for those two football clubs, I think. SJ Card says a Heskey and Owen duel. Yeah, big man, little man. Well, it was Rooney. Well, I mean, Owen did play up front with Heskey, obviously, at Liverpool and for England, but I remember like Rooney and Heskey being a bit of a decent combo on its day. Yeah, Heskey's a great guy. He's very, very, very nice guy. Very shy. Heskey's very shy, by the way. It's not like he's a big guy and he's quite imposing, but he's quite softly spoken and it's always very lovely when I sit down with Emil Heskey. So yeah, just a little nod there for Heskey. Right, CJ, I've given an update on that, on the discrepancy. I'm going to be giving you some more concrete information next week. Going to be recording a little video for you. So, yeah, look out for that. We'll be trying and provide as much details as possible on how we're going to proceed here. I would say that the cards still look amazing. Right, I think they're cool. But I would say that, wouldn't I? Government taking in sales from eBay, Vinted, etc. So people paying tax on them. Are they really? Right, okay. So what do I think how will that impact card values? Well, it could, yes, it could, because I think maybe people will be less inclined to sell their cards on those channels, so there'll be less. I don't know, maybe, who knows? Maybe, I don't know how it will impact. We'll have to wait and see, but I wasn't aware of that. So thanks for letting me know that, JP. God, is there anything they won't try and get their hands on, eh? Is there anything they won't try and get their hands on, these people? It is what it is. What can we do? Hey, what can we do? Okay. Someone saying never. SJ saying he never liked Rooney. That's a crazy thing to say. I mean, as a manager, not going too well for old Wayneo, is it? But as a player, incredible footballer. Right. Okay. Now, I found these in the archive recently. Look at these. So I'm going to hold it up for Instagram there. Now, these, by the way, I can't find too much information on where these are from exactly, but I suspect they were promotional playing cards that we did here at Futera. So I'm going to hold that up now for the guys watching on YouTube, my LinkedIn, streaming to my LinkedIn, and to X or Twitter. That's a nice idea. RM7 cards. I could see a bit of who's that? I see Mister saying, a few different crazy emojis there. Yeah, these are playing cards, Futera playing cards. And I suspect they were around, well, they've got Beckham on the front. What I'm going to do anyway, I'm going to open them up in a second and we're going to see which playing cards are in this pack, right? There's some big players on the front, like you got Beckham, Figo, and Zidane, but I've never seen these anywhere else. Never seen these anywhere else. I'd have to go back and try and speak to people who are involved in the company around this time to find out exactly where these, if they were sold or if they were given away. By the way, that's a lovely, lovely idea, RM7 cards. Maybe that's something that I'll try and work on. We don't. The problem is with that is we don't want responsibility. Of course, our responsibility is creating cards that you want to collect, right? Us getting involved in the whole kind of like actually helping to initiate trades, things going wrong, and then you coming to us saying this person hasn't sent me the cards or whatever. That's probably not something that the company would be too pleased. I mean, we've only got so much bandwidth, right? But on these streams, if I can help you, swap cards, maybe it's something I can look at. RM7, yeah, maybe it's something I can look at. But if I can help you, swap your cards or Mister, no, the heritage situation is not being ignored. I've already spoken about it a couple of times on the stream, but you may have only just joined. It's not being ignored. It's far from being ignored. I'm going to be recording a video with exactly how we're going to proceed next week. We'll have all of the information that you need about the process that we're going to follow moving forward. And it is what it is at the moment. That's all I've got for you, but it's certainly not being ignored. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to kind of manage this discrepancy, make sure you guys are happy. So yes, we are. We're definitely with that. Thank you, JP. Yeah, if anyone else jumps in, by the way, and asks that question now, I understand it because people are kind of passing by. But if you guys in the chat could manage that, I'm not ignoring it. Futera certainly aren't ignoring it. It is what it is, and we will be doing our best to sort it out. But I'm going to be doing more information on that on next week. Okay, right. Look, here we go. So, I'm going to open these playing cards, Futera playing cards. You ever seen anything like this before? I haven't. Mohammed has just dropped in on the restream chat, which has come either from, I think, my LinkedIn, YouTube, or X/Twitter. And he says he's got the Jack Wilshere 1/1 auto, which is nice. Right. First card, 2 of diamonds. Ronaldo, R9. Look at that. These are great. How cool are these? I'm gonna hold that up there. Look, you see that? You see that, guys? Look at that. So this is when Futera randomly did playing cards. I won't go through all of them. Henri is the next one. So 4 of diamonds, Henri. How cool are these? How cool are these? I might have to see if I can run some kind of giveaway for these. I doubt it. I imagine they're kind of like there aren't too many around. You think they'd grade JP cards? You think they'd grade? There's hardly any information online about them, so I think they were some kind of promotion. They weren't maybe sold directly by us. They might have never even been released. They might have been something that Futera experimented with, right, and then just decided not to do. Wow, Figo, look at that, 7 of diamonds. Figo. We've got Ferdinand next. He's a jack. Oh, this is a big one. Look at this, guys. This is wild cool. Wild cool. So yeah, if you're just joining, these are Futera. These are Futera playing cards. They're wicked. They're wicked. Let us know, by the way, if you'd like us to do playing cards again. I thought about, here we go. We're gonna do a little bit of a like an idea generation session, right? I've had this thing. I want you to tell me if you think this is a nice idea for us to do at Futera, where we create cards, Futera cards as you would find them, but they are like in this kind of design. Has any other company done that, in playing card designs? Would that be something that you'd be into? I think it'd be well cool. And like you'd have like kings and queens. So you do male players from the men's game, players from the female game. You might split them out by continent. It's an idea that I've had, by the way. Full of ideas, guys. So we've got Ronaldinho, 2 of clubs. Oh no, no, that's clubs, isn't it? Yeah, the other one's spades. An ace. Oh, it's Crespo. It took me a second because the text down here is very. Let me show you that there, Restream. The text down there is a bit. It's a bit hard to read. Crespo, Edgar Davids. There, he's a king of spades. Is that clubs? I can't remember, guys. Remind me. I've not played cards for so long. That's spades, isn't it? That's spades, and that's. Someone tell me in the chat. Blue, where are you when I need you? Am I losing my head? Anyway, don't know that. Is that Walter Samuel? Yeah. Casillas. Look at that. These are wild cool. So I've got no idea. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. I thought I was losing my mind then. It's been a long time since I played cards. But how cool are these? So yeah, I'm not going to go through them all. But they were just something I found in the archives. And if you want to see Futera playing cards, then let me know because I'll see what I can do, and maybe we can do something cool with some playing cards. We can try and revive them. Maybe I don't know. Yes. Anyway. So that's that. So they're really cool. I found them in an archive, as I said, and they were. I was like, what are these? Never seen them before. Can't find any information on them. I don't even know if they were ever released. So, by the way, a couple of updates as well from us here at Futera. Futera United, which, as you know, is our football club here at Futera that play in Bangkok. We've now gone. We've joined the pro leagues. They're in like the equivalent of, say, if they were in Britain, they'd be in the Conference North or something like that, right? So the goal with Futera United is to try and climb the pyramid. We do some very, very beautiful shirts, by the way, which I think you should check out if you haven't. If you like your football shirts, very cool. Obviously, you won't see too many of them around. I've got some in here somewhere, but I'm not going to go up and fetch them right now. Just leave stream midstream in case people come by and they're like, "Where's he gone? What's this?" It's just a random stream of someone's office. But they're very beautiful and worth checking out Futera United. So we're going to be, I think the Blue will tell me he's in the chat when the new season will start. But if you want a second team to follow here at Futera, we have our own football club, and that's how embedded we are in the game as well. We don't just make football cards here. We've got the club. We make teamwear as well. So we are very, very embedded in the beautiful game. And also, I have a podcast on the way out, everybody, with Adam Yorkshire card collector from Whatnot. He's one of the biggest streamers here in the UK. He's done really, really well over the past year, built his channel. And I sat down with him in between Christmas and New Year to actually do a podcast with him to find out what it takes to be a box breaker. And what some great ideas, by the way, in the chat. I'll go through these in a second, but I'm trying not to lose my train of thought. So great podcast. If you are thinking of getting into box breaking, if you're thinking of it, launching on a platform like Whatnot, or any of them, Fanatics Live, whatever you decide to, whichever platform you decide to choose. Whatnot is certainly, if you're based here in England or Britain, Whatnot's a great one. Hello, Beards. Yes, so I checked this podcast out. I'm going to do some written content. We're going to do some social content. What it is I'm trying to give you a cheat sheet. All the tips I've got inside Adam's brain, and I found out exactly what it takes to be a good box breaker, to be a success in that realm. So it's going to be worth watching to give you that information. So let's read some of the comments then, and then I'll think about darting, I think, because I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Haven't managed to do any trades, by the way. Oh, okay. So Blue is going to be on Whatnot. He hasn't done the seminar yet, but he's been approved to sell on there. So I'll be tuning into your first show, Blue. But Whatnot's a great platform, by the way. I've become addicted with it. I've been watching it a lot over Christmas. Shouldn't say this because I work for Futera, but I have also been keenly watching some of the Disney breaks, which have been pretty cool, and thinking about maybe other, non-football orientated things we might want to do here at Futera, but some of those cards are wicked. That is, I'll give credit to Tops there on that one. They do look amazing, and I think I'm going to try and get hold of some princess orientated ones for my daughter. So if anyone has any spare Cinderella, she's a big Cinderella fan, or Snow White, then give me a shout. This is going to be a really nice bit of content for you, by the way, if you are thinking of getting involved in box breaking. So much fun. We've got a Futera channel. I have done some pack openings on there and really enjoyed it. It's certainly, I think the future of the hobby is probably going to be, it won't be there in its entirety, but I think, the whole kind of like the community opening packs on there, seeing who you've got, that excitement, I think it's a big part of the hobby. Let's have a look. So, yeah, that's a nice idea, SJ. I think I know what you're talking to there. So, even for the autos, after every auto, collectors can scan the card and have a fact from the players themselves. Yeah, I thought about incorporating QR codes. I've actually mentioned it. Again, it's logistical trying to get this sorted. Something to think about. But what we try and do at the very least is like, certainly, when I sit down with players, is I try and get some good imagery, and if it's part of the deal, I can get video. It's even better. We do some nice video content so you can at least see and feel like you're there. And what I would like to do as well at some point, I'm sure you guys would like this as well, is I'd like to do a coffee and cards with a player as he's signing his cards, and I can be asking him questions. That would be cool, wouldn't it? But of course, that comes with certain players when it's live and stuff. They might not be that keen on answering questions or whatever. But especially if they're live. But I could moderate that, and I'm sure that's something that I'd really, really, really like to do. Okay, so SJ cards, I'm considering. Yeah, you want to be different. That there is a lot of people doing the same stuff on there, I suppose. But I think my advice would be kind of just get going with it. And thank you, RM7. Yeah, just get going with it, and then feel it out as you go. It's like anything. You got to start somewhere. So I'd start breaking, maybe do a product that well. Go from there. See how you get on. I think the key with streaming is, to keep the engagement there. Keep talking, have a laugh, be the kind of person that someone would want to sit down with anyway and have a chat with. And if you're engaging and you offer a good service on Whatnot, so you're shipping your cards as soon as you can. If there is any issues, you're rectifying them. I gather that you'll do okay. You'll do okay. And start small and then go from there. Maybe a stadium card spin-off. Yeah, stadium card. So if you go onto the Futera Instagram page, right, there's a card that I showcased months ago now, earlier on in 2023, I think, right? And it's called a ball card, and it's got a piece of a ball, a matched used ball in it. And we did that in 2000 is from that maybe World Football 2007 or something like that, maybe even earlier. And I was like, what? This is wicked. Like a ball card's really cool. I don't see too many of them. So also as well, SJ, I will check that out. Your Cinderella on your website. My little girl is still only 5, so I'm not going to spend loads of money on a card for her because she might end up bending the corners or something like that. But anyway, if it's at a good price, I might take it for her as a little present if she's good. So I'll check that out. But yeah, and then stadium cards. So when I was at Arsenal recently, Arsenal are doing some really cool stuff with like the banners around the stadium. And I thought how would it be cool to kind of get some of this? Because they've changed. Those of you that are Arsenal fans will know this. They've changed like the outside banners that sit across the stadium. It used to be one of like Henri and Bergkamp and these guys, and I think they've changed them now. And they were kind of like talking about what they've been doing with the materials that were on the side of the ground previously, and I think they're turning them into pictures or whatever, or framed things that people can buy. And I was like, oh god, why have we got to roll that and put it in cards for Arsenal fans? That'd be cool. Not sure if we can do that, but yeah, I'm sure that you guys, especially those of you that are Arsenal fans, would love that. So yeah, photo of each stadium. You like that, do you? Okay, I'll pass that on. Let's have a look. What else have we got here, guys? Any other questions? You reckon you'd be able to get pieces of nets and stuff, like a duo patch? JP Card says 2 players who played against each other in that game and pieces of the net or grass. That's cool. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe the grass would be quite tough, I think, to maybe get hold of, or maybe it wouldn't. I suppose that's a case of like working with groundsmen, isn't it? But yeah, that's a nice idea. I don't know how the grass would sit in the card, but I'm sure that, you know, the guys over here in the production team could work it out. I mean, they managed to get shirts into cards neatly and pieces of shirts into cards or whatever. So they're smart people. I'll pass that on as well. I'll pass that on as well. So yeah, okay, that's everything. I think I was going to talk about today. Thank you for your engagement. It's the first time I've streamed across multiple platforms. It's been lots of fun. And yeah, we'll do this again. I will check in with you next week on the discrepancies with the heritage cards, try and give you as much information as possible, and hopefully have something launched there in terms of coming to a solution for that situation. But don't let that put you off. You know, the collection this year is amazing. There's some brilliant autographs in it. I mean, the likes of Ronaldinho on card. I think someone has pulled one, actually. I saw a video. In fact, I know someone has pulled them, and I've got a bit of social content to do on that after this. So check out our socials and you will see someone pulling a Ronaldinho 1 of 1. Great names, great autographs as always. Thank you for collecting with Futera. I will be back with a coffee and cards next week. I'll be back with that video as well, giving you more information on how we're going to proceed with the heritage stuff. And thank you for tuning in, and thanks for collecting with Futera. I will see you soon, everybody.